sake of people who have already joined in, for the sake of people, all of you have joined in. So a warm welcome, a very good afternoon. And we welcome you to the IIM Calcutta webinar, which is on, leverage business and corporate laws for competitive advantage, which will lead to insights to the IIM Calcutta 6 months program, which is on executive program in business and corporate laws. So as you you would all know, your participants are very senior professionals. You would know that law is regarded as one of the last great untapped source of competitive advantage. Lawyers and managers alike have traditionally viewed legal and regulatory environment as an impediment to growth, a constraint on doing business. Hence, there has been a lot of there has been a lack of appreciation on the advantages of understanding the legal environment and its significant potential to improve a firm's operations and minimizing business risks. So overall, as we go through the webinar today, which is on the agenda, we will eventually give you some insights on the business and corporate law program from IIM Calcutta. The EPBCL program is actually aimed at providing advanced business and corporate law insights to corporate managers, management consultants, corporate secretarial professionals, corporate legal professionals, and entrepreneurs in risk management, corporate planning, and strategy. The program explores the strategic aspects of law and treats it as a value-added tool in business strategy. And the EPBCL program will make the participant understand the law in business organizations. So predominantly, it will, focus on the law of, law in business organizations. It will further help in legal managers, the legal managers to manage the risk and plan strategies for a competitive advantage. So to be abreast with the competition, this will be very critical. We are extremely glad to have amidst us Professor R. Rajesh Babu and Professor V.K. Unni from IIM Calcutta, who are also the program directors of the Business and Corporate Law program, who would address the webinar today. Allow me to introduce them before we commence the webinar. Meanwhile, you may keep posting your queries on the chat, and we will also give you all an opportunity for a Q&A session subsequently after the webinar is complete. Let me introduce Professor R. Rajesh Babu to you. Dr. R. Rajesh Babu is Professor of Public Policy and Management at the Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, and is also a member of the Board of Governors of IIM Calcutta. He has obtained his PhD in International Law from Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. He has over 2 decades of experience in industry and academia. He has been a postdoctoral scholar in residence at the Graduate Institute of International and Development Studies, Geneva, a fellow at the Center for Studies and Research, Hague Academy and International Law, and visiting fellow at Hamburg University. He has served as senior legal officer in Asian African Legal Consultative Organization, New Delhi, and Intergovernmental Organization. He has also practiced law at the High Court and the subordinate courts briefly. He is a regular contributor to international journalist magazines and books. A warm welcome to Professor Rajesh Babu. Professor V.K. Unni, Dr. V.K. Unni, a professor with the Public Policy and Management Group of Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, teaches at the doctoral and the postgraduate levels. He did his PhD in law from Nalsar University of Law, Hyderabad. He has taught at Nalsar University courses on intellectual property law, as well as banking and finance law for many years. He was the first Indian academician to receive the prestigious Thomas Edison Innovation Fellowship instituted by the Center for Protection of Intellectual Property at the George Mason University, Virginia. He was also awarded the Max Planck India Fellowship for the term 2008-11 by Max Planck Society, Germany, and was the only awardee from the field of law. He was a scholar in residence at the School of Law, University of California, US. He is a regular contributor to international journals, newspapers, magazines, as well as books. A very warm welcome to Professor Rajesh Babu and Professor Unni, and we really want to thank them to have taken time out of their busy schedule for addressing this webinar today. So before I hand over the forum to the professors, the flow of the webinar would be, once we complete the sessions from our esteemed speakers, we will have a short introduction to the program. It will be a very short one. And post that, we will open up for the Q&A session so that if you have any questions, you can get it answered in forum. This will be a overall 1 hour interaction. And if you have any questions while we are speaking, you can also post it on the chat as well, right? So over to Professor Unni and Professor Rajesh Babu.
Yeah, Professor Rajesh, you can start. Or
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So what I will do is, since we are talking about a program on corporate law from IIM Calcutta, and since many of you might not be very familiar with IIM Calcutta, I would very briefly give one or two sentences about IIM Calcutta. This is India's first management institute. We started in the year 1961 in collaboration with MIT Sloan School of Business. And from 1964 onwards, we have this MBA program. At that time, it was called as PGP program. Now it's called MBA program. So from that time onwards, for the management students, we had courses on law, some aspects of business law. It continued for a long period of time, but only after, I think, liberalization, Institute also started to give a lot of attention to law as a very important discipline, which can really influence the way in which people from management can also derive their strengths. So post 2000, Institute also started to recruit people in to teach courses on law. That's how me and Professor Rajesh joined here almost 13 years back. So this particular course, which we are going to discuss, has its origins in the electives which we actually offer in IIM Calcutta. So when we actually started, it was just a course dealing with just the fundamentals of law or a little bit of corporate law. But we found that there is a serious dearth of knowledge when it comes to courses, especially corporate or international trade related courses, which can play a major role as far as companies are concerned. So this came from the students. So we initially launched some electives which are only for the IIM Calcutta students. So and this was primarily dealing with certain aspects of advanced corporate law, fundraising, mergers, various other kinds of corporate transactions and all, including foreign investments. Same thing with Professor Rajesh also did on international trade. And later on, by 2016, we also started getting a lot of inquiries from external stakeholders about launching a similar course where even students outside the IIM system can join. So this is how we started this in 2017. So we had 2 batches, but from the year of COVID, we could not actually do the program after 2020. So this year we are planning to again have the new batch. So before this, we already have 2 batches completed. Close to about 100 students are there who have already completed this program. So I would say that this course is a result of the kind of interaction which we had with students of management and the kind of shortcomings they found in certain courses, which can really connect with law and management. So that's from me. So later on, once Rajesh brief something, then I can chip in later.
Right, thank you, Unni. I mean, as Unni kind of rightly pointed out, this came out of some of our electives. Of course, we were also kind of interested in IIM Calcutta has, all other IIMs have what is called as the training and consulting center, right? So we also were quite engaged with the training centers, and we have been training public sector undertaking officials for contract management, arbitration, etc. So we have been doing at least probably around now last 10 years around 50 batches or so of training programs for oil marketing companies, ONGC, and now we are currently doing a training program on contract management for Coal India for around 200 plus officials, executives, right? So that is where we kind of thought that this would be a good idea to kind of, particularly people who are engaged in corporate, to kind of understand the nuances of the law. And one of the things, our learning when we were discussing with our students, mostly engineers, of course in our elective programs we hardly get lawyers. We found that when in any aspect of the business processes, operations, maybe it operations, maybe it is strategizing, law plays a critical role in trying to understand how you can leverage in terms of competitive advantage, right? So, so the concept of law being usually seen as something that is constraining, right? You always see that, okay, preventing, you are being prevented from doing something, right? How some of these principles or understanding of these principles, right? Particularly for people who deals on a day-to-day basis, kind of allows them the kind of tools to structure the strategy, particularly in a corporate context, right? So that is why we thought that we have a very short but comprehensive kind of course. We have tried to tube the course over a period of time. We used to start with the basic, because the problem with sometimes of the problem that we face is that the kind of diverse group of people that we end up with, right? The participants, right? From people who have absolutely no clue about law and people who have some formal qualification in law. So somewhere we have to kind of, but in a way we also found that that is an enriching experience, in the sense that they communicate between each other, right? They kind of communicate between each other, because their problems in a discussion, the kind of problems, the kind of perspectives that comes into play are diverse. So that way it has been, the last 2 batches that we had has been very, very, very enriching. So and I don't know whether you have already seen the brochure and the kind of broad kind of structure of the program that you have seen. We're focused on corporate law, particularly different aspects of corporate law. I'm not going to go into the details, etc., but just to give you the titles. Then we are looking at the different methods of dispute resolution mechanism, the understanding of dispute resolution mechanism, intellectual property rights, then competition, consumer protection, international trade and investment law. These are some of the areas that we thought in the 6 months period that we have, we will try to kind of cover. In addition to, of course, one of the most favorite aspect of this course is essentially when you come to campus, right? We have a 3-day campus visit that is usually organized. Of course, as I said, this is not just about us having a one-way street, right? It's a discussion process, right? And networking or trying to understand what others are doing is also part of this process, right? So in that sense, having a campus visit and having few sessions in the campus visit also adds much more critical value to the program, right? So this is the structure, the broad structure that we have. Of course, depending on the kind of participants that we have, their educational background, etc., we kind of tuke on the go. We kind of tuke some of these principles. Now, again, remember this. One of the things that we also kind of consciously do is that, again, this is not a program which is offered by a law school, right? Why I'm stressing on this point? It's offered by a management school in that sense. Why I'm trying to essentially say is because we are not talking about provision sections wise, etc., but rather we are going to give you the concepts and the conditions under which law operates, right? So that you possibly can resonate with the realities, the field realities that most of you play with. Right. So in that sense, that would be the pedagogy, the way in which we deal with. It's not just 2 of us. There will be others, experts who will be called on to kind of engage with you, right? So the way in which we will deal with you would be slightly different from the way a typical law lecture would go on, right? So that we are kind of conscious of that. So this is essentially the kind of broad picture that I possibly can say as of now, but most welcome to kind of answer if there is any further clarification that you may possibly have. So thank you. Over to Pulak.
Yeah. So in fact, we would also like to, take you through the basics of the program, what the program structure is all about. And, I thank Professor Unni and Professor Rajesh Babu to give an, basic insight on the program. Of course, our interactivity will be on the Q&A session, because a lot of, participants would have questions, which we would answer one by one related to the program and the, objective of the program also as well. So, Sheshi, can we share quick 1 or 2 slides, in terms of the program structure?
Yeah, I just probably answer one of the questions that is in the chat window.
Yes.
Right? I think it is Roma Jain, right? So her question was whether the program provides for placement. So IIM Calcutta provides formal placement facility. Again, I've used the word facility. Because there is no assured placement process only for diploma and degree programs, right? So we don't generally give placements for executive programs, right? But again, one of the things that we have seen from the earlier experience, Unni probably can add to that, is the kind of network that you possibly build in, right? Which creates and generates a lot of opportunities for you. Right. So, but specifically to answer your one pointed question, whether there is a placement facility as part of this program, the answer is no.
Thank you, Professor.
So
yeah, again,
actually,
I would just add on to what Professor Rajesh is saying. Yeah, to be theoretically, even for the MBA students, institute is not guaranteeing any placements. MBA means the PGP program. They are actually organizing everything on their own. Just to oversee the process, there is a faculty who is heading that, called the CDPO chair. But otherwise, it's a student-centric process. It's completely student-driven. Institute only gives a room or something where recruiters can come and do it. So institute, even for the MBA program, never advertises or says that we are going to give placement. That's not our aim. And if there is a conflict between a class and a placement, any day scheduling the class will be getting more precedence. So no doubt about that. IIM Calcutta, the first thing which the placement chair will be telling the students is, placements for us is never going to supersede anything in academics. So once you do academics well, placements will automatically come. And as Rajesh was already telling, in this program, since we have already got 2 batches, we have some very good experience from the students who are there in the batches, and you won't be believing, even at 340, 247 also, I was seeing messages. We have a lot of these days with social media, it's all possible. WhatsApp groups, a lot of people sharing, whatever information or whatever developments or positive developments which they are generally experiencing in the career or even outside also. And I can also tell you, many of those students who are actually before joining this program in a particular role, getting promoted. Unfortunately, there was another area where one student really became big, but unfortunately during the last wave, there was some problem and he passed away. I was heading the entire litigation of Paytm. So all this, and he always says, because I was a referee for him, he always every day will call and tell me, sir, have you sent the reference, all those kinds of. So what I'm saying is, as Professor Rajesh was telling, it's ultimately the kind of contacts and the kind of linkages which you make as part of this program. You will be getting IIM Calcutta executive alumni status. That applies to all programs. For all long duration programs, you will only get the executive alumni status. And you are actually going to get a certificate. It's not a diploma, because until 2018, institute's main program was a diploma. For example, the MBA, which we call today MBA, was earlier called postgraduate diploma in management. So this can't be about that, or this can't be on par with that. But there is a serious thought process going on where institute is planning, or at least there will be, not now, at some stage we may consider raising it to a diploma level, right?
Great. I think
So,
pretty well responded to it. Yeah. Professor Rajesh, you wanted to say something?
No.
Okay.
I see so many questions, and most of the questions seems to like I am in a particular profession, and then how does this program help, right? So there is no kind of direct answer to particularly specifying one profession and say that how is it going to help, right? So as I was trying to say, if you look at any profession for that matter, right, either corporate or otherwise, right, and you look at the kind of subjects that are being listed, because we don't want to give here a false promise and get you inside and you are being frustrated at the end of the day, right? So you have a list of topics, right? And remember, this list of topics may not, some of these topics may not be of, you think may not be of much use to you in the current scenario, but that may not be the case tomorrow when you grow in your career, right? So first of all, I would advise you to have a look at the modules very closely, study those modules very closely, and think about your own qualifications and try to find out whether the current job profile that you have, an additional knowledge or skill set in that area would help you in terms of trying to do your job better or understand your job profile better, right? In terms of holistic picture, that is something that I would like to do. The second thing is that you are not static in a particular job. You are going to grow, right? You are going to change jobs, right? So the expectation is always that whichever job that you choose, possibly you want to kind of jump to that role with ease, right? So having a basic understanding of certain things, again, remember this is a 6 months kind of course, right? So having a basic understanding of certain stuff will give you a rounded knowledge about what you are planning to do, both in the current profile as well as in the current. I am not even getting into the fact that how IIM Calcutta can help, right? Of course, you are getting associated with one of the prestigious institutions. Post this program, you are going to be an alumni in that sense, executive alumni, right? That's what we'll end up having, right? In addition to that, as Unni was saying, we did programs a few years back, right? And we have this WhatsApp group, and we keep on communicating, we keep on sharing. I mean, I am a least active. Unni is that way much more active in these groups. So I see him or many of them getting together either in Mumbai, Delhi, and sharing whatever knowledge, networks, job opportunities that they have in their firms, in their companies, etc. Sharing. I see that for the last 4 or 5 years, right? So these are factors that you have to consider, right? Don't take this course as if this will kind of give you a jump which is elevated to a particular level, right? Be realistic, look at the program, look at your profile, whether how it is matching, how it can possibly contribute, right? In terms of your current and future profile, plus the kind of atmosphere that possibly the IIM Calcutta and your own colleagues, including us, would kind of provide you for. So that is what I would look at, right? I cannot individualize and say that, if you are in this profession, you are going to jump to that scale. No, we cannot. Absolutely, it depends on how you would use your skill sets. As simple as that, right? There's somebody who will use their skill set very, very effectively, somebody who may not, right? So it depends on person.
Yeah. So Professor Rajesh has summed it up very nicely. So I would just, since 2 specific questions are there, I can tell you. Rohit Kumar, he's talking about, he's working in Utkarsh Small Finance Bank. We have other, at least I have taught in some of the programs where people from banking and finance industry were a predominant chunk of the entire batch. There, the number of sessions initially planned had to be increased because of the importance of IBC as well as SURFACE Act. So I think there should not be, you should be, if you are taking one of these kinds of courses, definitely it will be a great importance, because for any lender in the coming days, IBC already has become, and it's going to play a major role, and we have specific modules on that. But coming to Kiran's question, can I start a consultancy in law? No, answer is no, unless, because this is not a bachelor's in law program, so you can't do any consultancy in law. But otherwise, your business development manager, so whatever on business development, there, if somebody is willing to work with you or take your advice, you can do, but not in law, because this is not a bachelor's program where under which you are becoming eligible to practice or something. It's not. So with respect to Rohit, I can tell, yeah, that's if you are handling certain kinds of departments, and the kind of inputs which you might be getting from this course can prove very, very critical. Because I remember one of my students telling me, it's once after he got a new job, he told me, sir, I remember what you said, and that is 100% correct. I asked, what did I said? Many things. I don't know which. No, you said, if things being equal, EPBCL is going to give me an advantage. And he got it, actually. So he became, unfortunately, this gentleman passed away, so I'm not going to name it. So this happened, and he finally got into a very, very top position. He was telling me, because my competitors did not, they were all qualified like me, they all had LLM, but this qualification didn't have. So I can only say, when things being equal, this could be a differentiator. That's it. Nothing beyond that. So
just to add on, I mean, addressing some of these questions, as far as the course is concerned, it would be a weekend, I think weekly twice, right, Pulakji? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sunday,
two sessions a week, right?
Yeah,
that
2 sessions a week, once a day.
Remains the same, right? And then also, when the course starts, Pulakji will again come back with a definite date, right? So that is.
So what we'll do?
One more. Just want to kind of following up on what you just mentioned. Every one of you have their own special interests, right? But this is a general course, right? Of course, you can intervene, you can ask questions which are specific to your interest, which can generate discussion, etc. Right? So that is part of the process, right? But then specifically, somebody's want to kind of understand a specific aspect of law and go deeper into that. We have something called capstone project. It's a group project where 2 or 3 to 4 members of the participants come together and try to work on some aspect of law and go deeper into that issue, right? So that is essentially what is called as the capstone project, which the group is expected to kind of make a presentation on, right? But otherwise, so it's kind of generally panned towards general understanding of some of the concepts that we have discussed. Thank you. So if I understand correctly, again, I may be wrong here. I think, yes, if you are absent, you are given one opportunity to have a look at the video and the discussions, right, Pulakji?
Yes. So right now, our protocol for, since we had started with pandemic, is that we make the recordings available, but it is non-downloadable, and you can review the sessions also. But yes, if you are absent, you can request for a session recording, which will be provided to you. But you will not get the credit for the attendance. But yes, you can review the session in case you miss it out, right? And I think someone has asked about the campus engagement of whatever we have, and how it is a 3 days campus. What do they generally do? So during the campus, if you could answer.
So again, there are times where, if you recall last time, because every module also have a evaluation, right? Remember this. Every module, it's not that you attend classes and go away. No. Every module, if you have seen different modules, every module has a well. So you have to take it seriously, right? And sometimes it's also said that we will try to organize these exams while in campus the first day or so, but that is kind of negotiable. You can even do it later on, right? But coming back here, there will be few sessions, 2 or 3 days. 2 sessions will be there. There will be presentations, right? By the students, groups, the capstone that I just mentioned, right? And of course, have fun, right?
I would say that the most important component of this course is the campus visit, because we are all getting a very good chance to meet in campus. And literally once the people join this course, everybody will be asking for the dates of campus visit so that you can plan in advance. And this is something which generally people would not like to miss. So once you come only, you will realize. And one of the important fact that these WhatsApp groups have become so intimate is because of the campus visit factor. They always tell, even now they remember the exact dates when they came 2 years back or 3 years back, and they again repost those photos, which also shows, they are all working in big companies. Still they find time to have memories about this and also reflect upon this. Shows campus visit is a very important part of this, which also shows that as the institute, we want you to be here, even if not the full course, at least for some days, so that you can have a flavor of the entire campus. So
And it
we would
also,
request you.
yeah, and it also allows you to, to meet everyone in person, to see the
And there are
campus.
other professors also. So there would be some other professors who might not have taught you, but so you will be meeting them also. So it's not
Yes.
just both of us actually.
Plus the entire batchmates also, you will get to see them, face to face. So that's a big opportunity, and of course the value of the program enhances once you are
doing program, they staying late nights, working out, moving around the lake. So a lot of things happens at that.
So just to address, I think Smriti Pandey had a question on whether contractual issues are kind of covered. In earlier last program, we had covered that. But if, as I said, we have some flexibility, right? But if at all there is a need for addressing certain critical contract management issues, right? We can always try to accommodate that. But in the current module, we used to have that in the earlier module as a basic kind of thing, but in the current module we have not added it. So, yeah. But there is a flexibility. Okay. Fee and duration, 6 months is duration fee.
I think, we will share the slide. Yeah. I think that will make it easy. Shashi, if you can share the one single slide of the program details, and then we can get into a little bit of curriculum also.
Sure. Yes, so I will just take everyone through the program details. So it is a 6 months program, as also discussed earlier today. The 6 months program, and you can access the classes through the comfort of your own home or office. It is a D2D, desktop to desktop mode online live session, which would be held. Classes would be held on the weekends, as somebody was asking in the chat box as well, on Sundays, 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And also there would be select classes to be held on select Fridays, which would be intimated to you much ahead in time, right? And yes, executive alumni status would be conferred to the candidates who successfully complete the program of 6 months, right? Going forward, we also have the program fees mentioned on screen, which is 2 lakh plus GST. And in addition to that, there would be a campus engagement fee as well of 24,000 plus GST. I will move on to the program modules that we have as well. Now, at the end of the session, you will all be receiving an information e-brochure on the program, which would have all the details of the modules, apart from the main headers that I would be discussing right now. So as you can see, the first module would be advanced corporate law. The second module is advanced corporate law on transactions. The third one is dispute resolution, national and international. Moving on to the last 3 modules, protection of intellectual property rights, legal framework for competition and consumer protection. And the last one is international trade and investment laws. That brings an end to the program modules part of the curriculum.
Well, I think what we can do, if you have the brochure, we can share the explicit content also, so that people, our participants know that what is being covered.
Right, I can do that. Just
Professor
give me a moment.
Professor Unni can also give a
sure
kind of small snapshot.
So maybe you can just, Shashi, you can just show the certificates so that people can have a look.
Okay, sure. So this is a sample certificate. I hope it's visible.
Little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, I'll just magnify it a bit. Yeah. Is that better for everyone? Yes. So this is a sample certificate which would be conferred to all the participants who successfully complete the program. I will move on to the program modules as we were discussing. Yeah. So here we have further details of the program modules as we were discussing.
Yeah, so I'll just add something here. So this, we call it advanced corporate law primarily because we are presuming that all of you will be having some understanding about company law. So here we are mostly getting into some of the advanced transactions involving this, especially involving, it could be a merger, it could be a kind of a demerger. So then we'll get into the acquisition side of it, the takeover code, the differences between slum sales, those kinds of things, joint ventures. So we are presuming that most of you are here, most of you who joined this course have some understanding of companies in general. So we are not going to teach you the basics of companies and all, because this is understood like that, or we can anyway give you other materials for that. But if you devote more time for that, then what happens is this is actually an 18-hour kind of module, then it gets affected here. So the first part is mostly covering JVs, mergers. Mergers, I am talking in a very generic sense. Mergers could also include demergers. Then we'll get into things like acquisitions. Yeah, a little bit down, Shashi. Yeah, then we'll get into the advanced corporate law. Second module deals with fundraising, mostly SEBI's regulations involving ICDR, issue of capital and disclosure requirement regulations. Special purpose acquisition companies, SPACs are there, FEMA, foreign investment. So those kinds of things. And also insolvency and bankruptcy code. So this is how we have tried to split up advanced corporate law. So this would be approximately 36 to 40 hours would be spent for this, right? Then there is a module on dispute resolution. I think Rajesh will be able to explain more on this. Then there is IPR. So what I'm saying is different modules are mostly around 18 to 20 hours kind of thing we have planned. So Rajesh, can you add something here on national and dispute resolution?
No, so essentially, you must have read newspaper reports, and this has become almost kind of a regular newspaper report saying that Air India's asset has been kind of acquired, order to acquire it, or in a French court, right? How does it happen, right? In terms of dispute resolution, what are the processes of dispute resolution? And so many things are happening, particularly in the context of investment dispute, Kane Energy or GMR's case, etc. Right? Vodafone, right? So there are so many cases that are being having large implications on the Indian economy, of course, Indian investment policy as such, right? So apart from giving a broad thrust on the basic principles, we'll also try to cover some of these cases. What are the issues that needs to be taken into account while getting into one dispute or one form of dispute or the other? Of course, when you say dispute resolution, it's a substantive law, right? It's not a substantive law, it's a procedural law that we are talking about, right? So that aspect would also come into play, but in addition to that, we will try to understand discuss some of these cases and the implication of these cases. Okay, just to answer a few questions, I don't know, How many days online course available to university? Online, there are many online courses which are available, of course, right? That is up for you to decide whether, depending on your discussion, your own research, should decide whether which one is the best one for you, right? Nobody can advise you on that, right? So as such, as I said, right, one of the ways in which we look at, of course, we are lawyers by training, both of us, and people who may be discussing with you most probably may be lawyers as well, about law background. But the point is that the way we deal with this law subject is slightly different from the way it is dealt with in a law school, in that sense of going into provisions and the interpretation of provisions, etc., but rather trying to understand a broader implication of law in general. That is essentially that we approach the course, right? Which resonates with not just lawyers, but also with a wider audience, right? Who doesn't necessarily have basic understanding of law. So that is essentially the core differentiation factor that I would possibly say. But of course, online courses are always there. You don't need to even join a course for that matter. There are YouTube videos which will provide you a lot of information, right? So that is also something that one can kind of explore. Can you connect to some of the alumni of this program? You can. I don't know whether it is a possibility, but whether they will entertain you. But yes, it is possible to do that. Okay. I don't know. Pulakji may be having some of these contacts. If
Yes,
they are willing, provided they are willing. Provided they are willing. So it should not be an intrusion into their space, but provided they are willing, please do that.
We will connect to you and help you in that. Not a problem.
Okay, so that is over, or
yeah?
No, anything you are saying?
No, nothing else.
I just have one point to make. Yeah, I saw people talking about a lot of courses. Yes, there will be a lot of courses, and we can't comment about other courses. But I think there are no other IIMs offering a course having covering subjects like corporate law. So I don't think there is any management institution offering such courses. So that way we claim this to be our USP. This is our claim only. The other one is, see, this is just like all of you know, many of us are students of law or students of contract law. This is an invitation to make an offer. You make the offer based upon the other conditions being satisfied, it will be accepted, and then only there will be a contract. So that is very, very clear. This is the information which you are putting. And I know there are courses, for example, institutions like IIC and all have courses, for example, something purely on insolvency. But they won't be, I don't think they cover things like something on mergers or something like IPR on. It's not there. So some of them will be extremely focused courses. So if you are purely dealing with that, that might be your cup of tea. But we also agree there are a lot of courses, and with the advent of these MOOCs, massive online open courses, there are umpteen number of courses available. A lot of people join, then they drop out. So all those things are there. But I can tell you, most of our students who have done these programs, literally all of them are working in corporates. I can name at least 2-3 big companies. One is Franklin Templeton, Wells Fargo, some working with what's that? What's it called? TransUnion, that Sybil is kind of credit rating agency, Canadian pension funds, the legal counsel. So we have a lot of students, and all of them are lawyers also. So the very fact that they found this course to be of great help and importance shows that there is this course that way would have been, compared to other courses, this might still have an edge. So that's the only thing which we can say, because we can't comment about other courses. I'm sure there will be also much, but a good courses also.
Just want to advise Nupur Saxena, right? Nupur, look at the course, right? What is your profile? What is the expectations, etc., right? And make an educated call, right? Nobody can give an advice I mean, at least we cannot give an advice whether it will be going to be useful for you. Look at the profile, look at what you are doing, where you want to go, right? Particularly if it is a corporate, etc., right? And how far you are comfortable with some of these courses that has been taught, because you have a CS and you have an LLB, right? So these are factors one has to kind of take into account. Is it the brand that you are coming for? There are some people who come for brand, right? Brand IIM Calcutta, right? So these are factors that what factors weighs on you is only for you to kind of decide, right? We cannot give an advice specifically. You will get disappointed sometimes after the course possibly is over, right? You will get disappointed that some unnecessary expectation is created, right? So take a judgment call, right? And decide as to how we want to kind of, is it worth it? 6 months, money, you are investing money, right? And then whether that would carry some weight in your CV, etc. Right? So, so a good thing would be that, of course, if Olakji can kind of connect it with some of the earlier members, earlier participants, it can give you a much more better idea, more unbiased feedback than we can give, right? So,
as Professor Rajesh was telling, the qualifications which you have mentioned from the previous 2 batches, we have a lot of students having the same set of qualifications. So
yes,
once
that's what I want
can
to
connect,
ask,
yeah, so you can easily find out. And the one which I am talking about from that Canadian pension fund, she's primarily a company secretary only. Later on, she did law. So and literally every day she's in touch with us. Okay, so we feel that's because of the goodwill of the course. That's it.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So my only, I mean, last point, I have to leave now because the meeting is still on. Point is that, there are certain assessment, there are few people who have a law degree, right? For non-law degree, it is a much more clearer kind of decision, right? But for people who are already having a law degree, etc., right? Look at whether this course, or look at the module, look at the career you are in, look at where you are, and look at the brand that you may get associated with, etc., and the kind of network group of people that you're getting associated. These are few things that you have to kind of consider and take an educated call. As somebody pointed out, there are enough courses that are available, so you take a call on your own, because at the end of the day, you are the one who are going to spend the money and who are going to spend the time, right? So that's what my advice would be, particularly when you have LLM or higher degrees, etc. Right? So trying to understand that whether this has been covered, etc. But again, as I said, it has its unique values. We have understood the unique values. Thank you.
Yes, somebody was asking about the feedback. So if the feedback, if as far as we are concerned, we found it to be extremely positive feedback. The very fact that literally we are in touch with them every day shows that that is a very positive. Otherwise, why should they get in touch with us every day?
Niti.
And plus, anyway, you can cross-verify that. So
yes, Niti, you can.
Yes, sir. Before you leave, I just have a quick question.
Again, this is also some advice, irrespective whether you join it or not. So in my class, I would like all the participants to have the videos on, right? And discuss, right? This is one of the fundamental aspects, right? Yeah, go ahead.
So I just wanted to get your clarification on the point whether we would be getting any mentorship in this program, or would it just be a classroom methodology? What would be the
mentorship in what sense?
In the sense that would there be a mentor-mentee program involved in this, in the sense that the professors and the people on board, the academic counselors on the board?
So one of the things that we are, I mean, Unni, as Unni has already mentioned, right? I'm a very, very bad in terms of my social media skills. I rarely kind of comment, but Unni, somebody is very savvy with all this stuff, right? We generally are in contact with almost all the people who are there, and there are many times, as Uni said, we're taken references, etc. Right? So we always are there, not just in the classroom, but beyond the classroom as well. Right? So that is reflected in the connection that we have maintained at least for the last 2 batches. Right? So there is no formal, if you are looking at, if you are wanting an answer, there is a formal mentorship kind of thing. There is nothing, but our access to you is beyond the classroom as well, depending on your interest.
All right, sir. That answers the question. Thank you.
So Professor Rajesh has to leave now. I would just add on to what Professor Rajesh mentioned. See, formal mentorship, that way we don't have. Even in the MBA program also, there is no formal mentorship. But students, if they have that kind of confidence in us, a lot of people will contact us. These days, we are not going there, so they don't come to our rooms, but they will somehow find out our contact details, number, they will start messaging us. So that happens. And I told you the kind of interaction which happens in our WhatsApp groups and all, at least 4 or 5 people have directly message us saying, the kind of, one is this course has all helped them when things being equal. And in some cases, we have also given references. So people have actually gone on record saying the kind of. So secondly, some of the openings which come up, we share. I'm not saying everybody will get it, but people have got it. People have moved up their career. And I don't think, I should be shouting from the rooftop about all these things. Pulakji can give the details. You can find out from them.
Professor, only one of my candidate had a question, and he was particularly interested in matters like this current Amazon future group Reliance debacle. So those kind of things would be covered in the program.
Absolutely. Even if you don't join this program, also whenever Amazon future comes in newspaper, most of the time they are quoting me.
That's wonderful.
Most of the newspapers will have my quote. I can share that right now also.
Wonderful, sir.
So Bloomberg or Live Mints, all this carries, it may be a 1 paragraph quote, but it's there. We'll be covering that. Rajesh will be covering things on consumer protection, again on competition, antitrust. So all this will be covered.
Sure.
So one small question. I was, I think, one of the first applicants this year. I got selected. I've already paid my first installment of the fee as well for this particular course. But I was given to understand that the course will start somewhere around February end. Then I got March end, and now I just read Polak's message saying it's about mid-April. Can we have a some kind of a clear-cut understanding when is it starting? Because if I add 6 months, I have to manage my calendar as well.
Yeah, so this, the April calendar is sacrosanct. On 3rd of April, we are going to have the technical orientation followed by the session. So you will get an intimation by the end of this month regarding all the dates and everything. So mid of April is a fixed date. There's no change. We're not
pushing it down any further.
No. Absolutely. We had to little bit stretch a bit because owing to the pandemic also, there was a bit of a setback, and a lot of people wanted some additional time to post in their applications and all. So we give them that time, and but this dates will be the fixed date.
Sir, we won't mind, because if it's starting mid-April, it's gonna end somewhere like mid-October. So that's the puja time. Good time to be in the IIM campus, actually. Good time to be.
Yes. We also want you to be within that period so that you can enjoy these celebrities as such.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds good. Lagji, I have to make a move.
Yeah. Yes. Professor Rajesh, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We will continue from here, and thank you so much for being
here. Thank you all, and
yes.
thank you, Uni.
Thanks, Rajesh.
Yeah. So, Shashi, we will covering up the. We have already covered the content part, or a little bit left out. Professor Unni, we have covered the content part overall.
This is the last part.
So one is, so I told you, I think Shashi, can you go a bit back actually? Yeah. So this is with respect to legal framework for competition law and consumer protection. So here, as you are asking about Amazon Future Retail, one is the competition part, no, the approval process. But to be very frank, this particular case is not a pure competition law matter. There are multiple aspects of law involved, including corporate governance, because what were the directors doing when this kind of investment was happening? Now they are saying, you know, this was to actually bypass the FTA. So that's a separate matter. But what I'm saying is, we'll be covering things like data protection and privacy, which is going to, new laws are going to come up. Professor Rajesh will be covering that. Competition Act, I'll be covering. Within that, we have anti-competitive agreements. We'll be dealing with abuse of dominance. We'll be dealing with merger regulations or regulation of combinations. And most of the time, we deal with the help of case studies. So I distinctly remember last time when we were teaching the merger between Idea, Vodafone into Idea. One of the students was somebody who was, I think, the deputy head or something in Vodafone. So he was also telling, sir, the same thing is happening. We are going through this process. So we have that kind of, one is the theoretical kind of, you know, insights which I may be able to give. Plus, apart from that, we can also bring in, for example, insolvency and bankruptcy code and all. We can have some of the best practitioners come in and at least talk to you. For example, Mr. Sadish Kumar Gupta, who handled the entire resolution of SR Steel. We always talk negative things. Let us talk about positive resolutions also. SR Steel, you know, banks got almost 90-95% of the money back. So we can always, you know, have conversations beyond, you know, pure academics like me or Professor Rajesh. So we can always have. So that's why we also have this in-campus module also, where we try to bring in, you know, people from some kind of practitioners also. Last time there was a gentleman who actually handled the entire resolution. Not like SR Steel, but slightly lower company, Ruchi Soya or something. So this is actually what we are planning. And the last two batches give us a lot of confidence that eventually we will be able to implement it like this. Right. And I can see one student, Shyam, is actually one of our students in some other program, right, Shyam?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he had attended our contract management program. It was a 5-day program, so he was
Yes,
there.
sir.
So the very fact that I can remember somebody who attended for 5 days, and please note, only this week we are free. Next week again we are starting with Coal India. So that is continuing like a meter. So we are meeting literally everyday participants. Still I can, you know, literally recognize Shyam Sundar, means we always remain in touch. So
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So I think the exclusivity of this program,
Smriti, that program is only for Coal India. That's a company specific program. That's through an MOU between. Later on, we can share with you all those details.
Yeah, I think, you know, being a part of the program, I could very, you know, positively vouch that Professor Unni is one of the professors who are extremely in touch with the participants on a regular basis. I mean, you know, he had been sharing messages with the students of the first batch also. He is very well connected, and I think very accessible, I would say. And I think
that is because I have no other job. I'm always free.
No, you definitely hold very key positions at IIM Calcutta, and but you definitely find time out for all your, you know, participants. That's a goodwill gesture from your side.
And one more thing is, sometimes you might, when you switch on CNBC or ET now, you might see me there also.
Yes, not sometimes. I think frequently.
So
and you can also, you know, see his articles in Economic Times very often. So, you know, giving a lot of insights on the, you know, on the business and corporate law side also as well. So I think it's great to have you, you know, as a part of the program, Professor Unni.
I think there is someone who has raised his hand.
Yes, yes. I think, yeah, you can come over and, you know, ask your question, please.
Yeah. This is Mukesh Kumar Singh. I'm interested in asking a question actually regarding the course content. The course content is looking quite interesting and quite vast actually. But I'm not sure, after studying all this course actually, how much impact this is going to make on our resumes, CV, I mean. So will it make a good impact on our CV, and will it going to help us in changing our job? Thank you very much.
If you go by the last 2 years experience, I can remember at least 12 to 15 people getting good positions. So
Okay,
somebody
good.
was, but they were all having, previously also they were, well, it's not that they were not having any job. They were also having good positions earlier. But after this job, the way in which they got promotions or the way in which they got positions in other companies has dramatically, gone up. So that's the only thing. That's what I'm saying. When things being equal, this will definitely help you.
Okay, thank you very much.
And you are a lawyer?
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer. I'm working in Air India Engineering Services Limited. So my current job is in the logistics, basically. I'm in the procurement side.
Oh, okay.
So I have been thinking to change my job actually since some time. So I thought I should get into some kind of these courses and some other courses also. So maybe this course can benefit
no,
me.
but let me warn you, with this course, you won't be able to practice as a lawyer or something. That I'm making it very clear.
Exactly.
So there should not be any confusion on that.
Yeah, this I understand. I won't be able to practice.
So what I'm saying is, with your experience in procurement, especially you will be knowing things about GFR, all those things. Along with that, this might be a value addition, definitely. That way, in any course for that matter, it will add value if you do it diligently. Right.
Right. Thank you very much.
Sir,
any other questions? You can come over on audio also. Yes.
So apologies for interrupting in between. I just wanted to know, you said that this is, not going to help a lawyer. I mean, how is it so?
This will not
help a lawyer, help a practicing advocate who is practicing in India.
No. I never said that. I said, for example, he is not a lawyer.
Yes,
the gentleman whom I spoke to is not a lawyer. He is in Air India in procurement division. He wants to start his consulting, right? That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
No, have you done your LLB, LLM and all? LLB, have you done?
Yes. I have done LLB, LLM, as well as an MBA Finance.
No, then definitely it will help you.
Yes,
then definitely,
I'm a practicing lawyer I am a member of Bar Council of Delhi as well as High Court Bar Association.
Sir, then you should be, I can connect you with people who are practicing in Delhi High Court.
Yes.
People who have benefited from this. Ashish Kumar ji, there are many people. I don't want to name one or two. There are many people like that.
Yes.
So because, see, for a lawyer, I'm not trying to degrade any institution. I am also somebody who studied in an institution which is not a law school. But unfortunately, we generally, at least when I studied, we never got a chance to study these kinds of, at least these advanced areas of corporate law. Hardly they will just cover company law, that's it. So later on only I realized certain areas I had no clue, which all I had to come and pick up while I was teaching in NALSAR. Then I was teaching banking and finance law there. That also led me to believe that there will be, if I am in that position, there will be many people who wanted to know these things, or at some stage they'll be getting benefit from this. But right now they are practicing, they're doing well in their practice, good in their practice, but there are no formal ways of acquiring knowledge on this. So there are courses, for example, NLS as a course, a master in business law for 2 years, all those things are there, 3 years it's there. But what I'm saying is, this particular course, it's of 6 months duration, plus the IIM brand value. At the end of the day, brands also matter.
Yeah.
So definitely it will be helping you. So what I told him was, with this you cannot go and practice like you. For example, he is not a lawyer.
You cannot get a license with the bar.
That's what I'm saying. So people should not come with that assumption. That's all I said.
Okay.
Right.
So there is one more question. Actually, I haven't received the offer letter yet. However, I have received
those things Pulak ji can answer. Yeah.
Okay, we will connect. Just after this, after we finish the webinar, and we'll check your case out. Right.
Yes, but I have received an email which says that your application has been accepted. However, that is without an offer letter.
Right. So generally,
then you have to go by our traditional contract law. If acceptance is there, offer also will be there.
Yeah.
Right. acceptance is there, offer is also there. I mean,
It's inherent in
So
there.
the offer letter
there's
follows that.
nothing
You should
written
be
how
receiving
to,
it in a day.
how
Yeah.
to pay
Yeah.
the fee amount. There is nothing written on that. So, I mean, certainly it was written over there that someone is going to contact you, or you can
Yeah.
contact anyone for any clarification. But there was nothing, like an offer or something.
Yeah, you will receive a formal offer letter. You have received the letter from IIM Calcutta directly. You will receive the
That is an
formal offer
email.
letter
That is
with the
an
link.
email. However,
Yeah.
written that
Yeah,
isn't written. So, yes.
You will receive it. You will receive it by tomorrow itself, right?
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions from anyone?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah, I have a question. What is the selection criteria for this particular course actually? Are you going through the CVs, all the CVs, and trying to select the people actually? And how much is the selection rate? And one more thing, how many people are applying and how many are getting rejected actually?
Those things, Pulakji, can you answer?
Yeah. I will answer. So your eligibility to apply that, you need to have a graduation with minimum 50% marks, right? And I think the experience part you already have. So once you apply online on the specific portal, the link that we have also shared right now, plus after this webinar we'll share you the brochure and the link also as well. So once you apply online, your application will have to be complete in all aspects. You have to make a payment of 2,500 plus GST as the application money, and then your application will be put forward to the program directors for final evaluation. And after the evaluation is done, you will get the offer letter from our side, and then you have to go ahead with the payment. So your selection will be done based on your profile screening. So the program directors will go through your specific profile and they will take a decision of your intake, right?
No, my question was a little different actually. I was trying to find out how much the demand is there for this particular course. How much demand you are receiving for this particular course actually. That was the reason I was trying to find out how many candidates have applied and how many you have selected actually. You are going to select.
So, we don't share explicit data on this forum. Okay, we will get in touch with you. And as the professors had already shared earlier during the interaction, that during the last two batches there were more than 100 people who have already cleared this program. So generally you can expect that a specific batch is of a batch size of tentatively around 40 to 50, because that is what we want to limit to. We don't so to maintain the student and faculty ratio. So we don't go overboard 50. So generally the tentative batch size would be around 50, right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Unlike any institutions, there will be some amount of rejections also based on the profiling. That will be solely under the discretion of the program directors.
Okay, thank you very much.
I may ask my question now.
Yes, please go ahead.
Hi, sir. So I have two questions. First one is with respect to just a while back, we were discussing about having industry specialists on board who could guide us with respect to the current scenarios, current issues. I just wanted to be sure if this is part of the program or this would just be done voluntarily based on the demand from the students, if there could be some clarification on this point.
Industry specialists for what? For taking courses?
For let's say we were just discussing about the Amazon issue. So you talked about us visiting the campus and then having some industry specialists coming on board and taking some lectures and explaining us in detail about
it may not be someone from Amazon. It could be somebody who might be handling similar cases.
Yeah. So is that a part of the program, sir, or would that just be done based on the demand from the students?
See, what we generally do is, once the program more or less gets finished, we have this campus visit there. There, what we are doing is, whatever was not covered or whatever areas which is going to benefit from maybe an external kind of a person, or somebody who is an expert who deals with that particular matter, there we will try to invite him, or it can be an online kind of session there and all. So this is what we generally do. Last year and all, we had people from, for example, the person who resolved a company, Ruchi Soy, I forgot the name. So he was a resolution professional. He was there to give a talk on that, along with one of, so like that. So this is primarily, mostly we go by demand actually.
Okay, so we go by demand. All right.
Yeah.
All right, sir. The second question is that what is the relevance of this course if you could guide for someone who primarily deals with contract management? How would this course be?
So let me be very frank. Out of the 6 modules, there is no specific module on contracts. Okay, so if I tell you something, I'll be lying to you. It's not there.
Okay.
So what we found earlier was we had in the first batch, not in the second program, first batch we had this. Then the feedback which we got was, sir, we are all handling contracts 24/7. So we want to learn more on mergers. We want to learn more on reverse mergers. We want to learn more on spin-offs. And contracts are also taking time. So you need to get into, because sometimes you start with contracts. People will say, no, I want specific inputs on how to prepare a notice inviting tender. So gets into extremely specific things, and we found the discussions were not going anywhere. And it was also because we have a specific time limit, 117 hours. So that was eating into our other courses. So post the first batch, we don't have any specific modules on contract management. So if you are only looking towards contract management, my answer is it won't be of any help to you.
All right. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah, Sharma ji, tell me.
Sir, I have already applied. I submitted all the documents. I have not received any response.
What happened, Pulak ji?
If you have tentatively, when did you apply?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you are muted.
Yeah, I'm saying when did you apply? We will check that. So in case you have applied recently, it would have not gone for evaluation. So because the last tranche of documents are going for evaluation tentatively by tomorrow. So you will only hear after the selections are cleared by the program directors, right? But we will check I've noted down your details from our team. She will get in touch with you and help you through, right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So I think, shall we then wind up?
Yeah, I think, yes. So, for those of you, I think we still have a question like, what is the course fee? So we had shared, the course fee is 2 lakh. And 24,000 is the campus component. So overall course fee is 2,24,000 plus GST. GST is 18%, and this can be paid in installments, right? So we have installment plan. So as we finish the webinar, we will send you the details of the brochure along with the entire content of the brochure, the payment plan, the link, and everything. And you can access us over the numbers that we will share with you. In fact, Shershi had shared the numbers. Shershi, we can share the numbers once again so that they can get in touch with us. And I think most of you for whom you have posted your chat, we will get back to you separately. Our team will get back to you and help you and assist you into your process. And I would like to thank Professor Unni for giving his time here today, and despite his busy schedule. And I think it was pretty insightful. And I think the objective was to bring all of you together in front of Professor Unni and Professor Rajesh, so that you can share from their intellectual bent of mind and make a decision on the program itself as such, right? So Professor Unni, if you wish, you can log off. We will hang around for some time in case we have any questions.
It was a great pleasure to interact with all of you. And hope at least some of you will be, joining us for a much formal journey together. And anyway, I am always available. Even without this also, you can get in touch with me. I'm in various social media, LinkedIn, all those things. So keep in touch. Thank you so much. And thanks a lot, Pulak ji and Shreyashi, and also Jyotirmay. Bye-bye. And Mehta ji, let us stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
If we have, any question related to operations or, in non-academic questions, anything that you wish to answer in terms of the framework of the program, we are there for another 5 minutes. You can, check with us. Also note down this number. So if you have any query, and the email ID also, you can knock us, you can, for any queries that you might have. And for those of you who are, awaiting the offer letters, we'll be receiving it very soon for the last tranche of selections that has come in. So we will be in touch with you, and we'll see how fast we can expedite that so that you can go ahead with your overall application process, right?
So could you please shed some light on the examination process? How will we be evaluated?
Evaluation, yeah. So generally for any executive program, your evaluation is a mix of, it could be a mix of online assessment, it could be a mix of quizzes, right? Or it could be also a group presentation or an assignment which is done while you are visiting the campus also. So either of the 4 mechanisms might be there for your assessment part. Generally, you would have one final examination during the end of the program, which will be mostly through online mode, right? Other than that, you will be, during the session, you'll be formed as groups, and the groups will have to, create their presentations, and, there will be, as they rightly put, there is a capstone project also during the end of the program. So there will be group engagements. There will be quizzes from time to time. So this is just to make sure that you are abreast with whatever is being taught. And once you complete the assessments, you will be qualified with the certification and the alumni status. The minimum attendance for any IIM Calcutta long duration program is 66%. So you need to maintain a minimum attendance criteria of 66%. So if you miss few classes, we will be able to give you the recordings of the classes which you can review. But yes, you will not get any credit for the attendance part. So your attendance is generally pulled out from your logins that you do, once you attend the class and you register your name. So through that, the attendance is pulled out, and based on that your attendance is being marked, right? So that is, more or less about the assessment part and the attendance, and the qualification criteria in terms of your examinations also as well, right?
What is the selection criteria for shortlisting the applicants?
So as I said, online application, the first step is to post your online application.
Which was done already.
Yeah, so it is once you make the payment of 2,500 rupees. So generally so just, so what we do is that on a progressive mode, whenever the applications are, are collected over a period of time, it is forwarded to the program directors for evaluation, right? And the program directors will go through your application, overall application. So, if you have completed all your documentation, your payment and everything, then after the selection is done, you will receive a intimation from the institute and also a offer letter from our side. And based on the offer letter, you will be able to make the payment.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
Sir, there is one more thing. How can I get the recording of the today's webinar? I mean, what was discussed? Actually,
yes, we will share you we have recorded the webinar today.
Yes.
And what we will do, we will share it to you. You can either you can just put in a request mail to the email ID. Sheshi, can we share the email ID once again, please?
Sure.
But you can note down.
It's already shared on the chat. You can just cut paste it from there and use it.
So what you can do, we will share you the recording separately over mail. You can go through it.
sir, there's one more thing. The
Yeah.
process for application is already over, right? The 28th of Feb was the last date, I believe.
20, yeah, it has been extended till 25th of this month, which is the final tranche. And, post that, our preparation for batch launch will start during the month of April. So first week of April, we'll have the orientation, and then subsequently we'll have the classes starting.
Okay.
Right.
Fair enough, sir.
Yeah.
So how will this course material or the study material be shared with the students?
So most of the study materials would be, provided online. So it's a digital format of study material that we provided to you from time to time. There could be a scope of 1 or 2 physical books, which the institute will decide if at all they need to provide you. But mostly you can expect digital materials of the study materials and everything. So generally you will get a learning management system, LMS login, through which you can access all your, PPTs and content and, your, articles, whichever the program directors and the faculties will share to you from time to time. That will be uploaded there, and you will be able to access it and download it also. Right?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so we will close it here, and you can expect our detailed mail for those of you who have not yet applied. You can expect a detailed mail with the brochure, the link, and the other aspects, the payment plan and everything. So you need to quickly post your application. Earlier the better. 25th is the date in which we are going to close all our application window. And further on, wait for the selection process, and then you get the offer letter, and you can make the payment and join the program.
So one last question, just a quick question. So, so since this is a certification course and not a diploma, would it weigh the same as a diploma, or?
No, it will. Diploma is a separate entity, and a certificate is a separate entity. Of course, it will not weigh same as a diploma. So you need to assess based on where you are going to have the fitment on. So all these certificate programs, all the executive programs that you see today, whether it is offered by any of the IIMs, these are all professional certificate programs. Diplomas are generally, diplomas have a requirement of engagement hours of over 900 hours, 850 to 900 hours as per protocols and rules. And all the executive programs that are being offered for leaders and programs like these have limited number of hours. It could be ranging between 70 hours to 150 to maximum 300. So this would not fall under the purview of being a diploma program as such, because it does not comply to the number of hours. But these are professional certificate programs, and they are very well accepted in the corporate industry, in which industry you belong to. And there is a wide acceptance of these programs. Even a 10 lakh or 15 lakh program, even which is offered by many of the IIMs, IIM Ahmedabad, Calcutta, like a senior management program and all, they are also professional certificate only. They are non-diplomas. So not to worry about the acceptance part. So mostly it is accepted by the industry.
Right. Okay.
In the corporate industry, I would say. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for joining in today. And, it is a weekday, but still, you had joined, taking time out of your busy schedule. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. And we look forward to you being a part of the program soon. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.